back to my live stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue this video. Let me just set my phone. Okay, there you go. Alright, so for this video I want to go ahead and talk about spiritual warfare. What has it been like throughout this collective journey of going through spiritual warfare. Now, start by saying, right now, we are in very important times in our lives. These are the end times. Whoever does not see this, you really need to get close to God, because we are in our last days. We really are. You know, we're starting to see a lot of strange things. Even in the Bible it says, like, you're gonna see a bunch of, like, strange things that are going to be taking place, and events and things like that. That's what we've been seeing. So it's very important during these times that we stay where the sun is, where the light is, where God is very near us, guiding us. You see, our whole purpose is to walk in faith, to walk in the light with God. We have to have a very strong connection with God so we don't get misled. We don't get led astray in the wrong direction of where God intended us to go. We can't be listening to every single voice that talks to us, every single person that has an opinion about our life, every single person that wants to give their input on, oh, I don't think that's the right thing for you, I don't think this is the right thing for you to do. You really need to check in with God, have a conversation with God before you make any decision based off of your emotion. Don't base your decisions on your emotions, on, well, it just feels right because I feel this way and that's why I'm gonna do this. No, you need to really every choice that you make, every decision that you take, always check in with God, always check in with Him, talk to Him, let Him send you the right people in your life, the messengers, the people that are going to be in your life to try to send cues, to send ways that you need to go. But test the spirit. Remember, some spirits are from God. The ones that are from God are going to help you. They're going to help you out of certain situations, give you advice, help you, uplift you, not uplift you, uplift, not lower you to where you started, uplift you. So what that means is that test the spirits. Some spirits are from God, some spirits are antichrist. Our system is very satanic. Open your eyes. See everything that's in our faces. It's literally right in front of us. We can't hide the truth. It's right. Everything that's happening, everything that's taking place is happening during these times. Look at the movies. They were always sending us subliminal messages, revealing to us the things that were going to take place and the things that are taking place in the present moment, right now. All the cartoons, The Simpsons, all the other shows, the movies, that they have everything already planned out, ready to just release certain movies to show us exactly what's going to take place. And even the television shows, everything, they always show it to us. The television instilling fear, instilling their agendas, shoving their agendas to everyone, and instilling a lot of fear, and the viruses and things like that. This is all part of what they had planned for quite some time. It's not new. It was planned years and years already. So The Matrix, that movie, if any of you guys have seen it, that's exactly what's taking place. People have a choice to make. You can't be in the middle. You gotta choose. Which side are you going to end up in? Really, which side are you going to end up in? You got righteousness on this side, living a righteous life with God, standing up for justice, for the good, humanity, and love, compassion, empathy, having love for one another. Or you're gonna do unrighteousness, just stay a prisoner to your wants and your needs, and be selfish, and be a lover of yourself, and only think about being rich, the things of the world? Or are you gonna really sacrifice and let go of all the ideologies, all the false indoctrination, your dysfunctional family belief system? Or are you gonna stand for what's right, the truth? You see, this is totally up to you. It's not up to other people to decide for you. It's up to you. And you decide your relationship with God as well. It's your decision to continue to build, to continue to stay close to the light and the truth. And to not be easily fooled, easily convinced about the lies of the enemy that's trying to instill fear, doubt into you. So this video, I forgot what I titled this video. I think I titled it Truly Inspirational. So, with that being said, you either choose, what do you want to fill your soul with? Your soul is on the line, believe it or not. Your soul is on the line. Many people are walking this earth just being flesh people, There's no spiritual life in them. Life. It's like soulless human beings around us. Just speaking utter foolishness. There's even a Bible verse that says, the unrighteous will speak foolishness. They'll speak a lot of lies. They don't really know what wisdom is. And the righteousness speak with wisdom. So, God commands us to love our enemy, to love your neighbor. Yes, do all of that. But always remember that you're only responsible to make sure that you're doing the right stuff for you to be able to go into salvation. And it's up to what you choose to do. So, certain people do not have the Holy Spirit. They're not operating with love. They're not operating with good intentions, the goodness of humanity. The opposite is destroyers of goodness. Listen to that sentence again. Destroyers of goodness. Satanists, they have a certain ideology that too much goodness is bad. That certain ideologies, like I said, good is seen as evil. Good righteousness is being persecuted. And evil is seen as good. So we can't change certain people's minds once they made up their mind. Certain people, that's just exactly how they think, and no matter what, they decided to work for Satan. And I knew certain people in my life who were Satanists. They really were. They believed the ideology of living that way, of hating anything that's good. So we really need to understand what's taking place in the spiritual realm right now. The worldly things in this world, the holidays, like, they're all false. If you look into the history, it was all a lie. Everything that we've been taught. It was never true. Are you gonna live in the truth? You see, you're the truth right here. You got this truth of righteousness. And the people around you have this band over their eyes. Like this. And so they're in darkness, and you're in the light. Many people fear the light. That's why they quickly reject you. They don't want to be around you for too long, because your light exposes the darkness, the lies, the deceitful of the world around us. You see, certain people will portray to be a good person, to be trustworthy, to be a good friend of yours, to really try desperately to gain your trust. But the whole time they have an agenda they mean no good in their agenda and why they're getting close to you. Not every single person that comes close to you is a good person. You gotta really test the spirit. So yeah. Always check with the Word of God before you ever believe in something that someone says to you. Because they can try to take your position as well by giving you bad advice, by leading you the wrong way. And just trust in the energy that you feel as well. Because, you know, what happens if God sends you someone in your life who has your good intentions at heart? So you test the spirit to know, yeah, that person really is sent into my life to help me. And I'm not going to push that person away. Because I understand that that person actually is being genuine and is loving and reciprocating back into me. At the same time, it's like a energy exchange between a relationship. With that being said, I'm going to share my testimony now. So, here it goes. So, ever since before I was born, right? I was raised by two narcissistic parents. Highly narcissistic parents. They were my parents, and they divorced when I was little. So there was a separation. And so I was raised in a single household with my parents, a single parent household. With a covert narcissist. And so already I became the scapegoat. I was being targeted by all my family. All my family. All my family from that side of the family. Because the narcissistic parent that I was living with was spreading lies to me with the other family. So they saw me as a bad person that I just never wanted to obey and this and that. And I just would speak the truth. I always, no matter what, God had always given me his spirit. Like God's spirit was always within my soul when I was just a little tiny girl. So God set me apart. He put me apart. And even though I was born with just family with demonic entities around me, I still shined a lot. And yeah, I was scapegoated by, my sibling and my parent. They would gang up, kind of like being a targeted individual, but it's a lower level. So it's not too high, but it's still a lower level of targeting because they're still pointing the finger. You're to blame for. We're gonna make you feel like you're a bad person and you deserve to be punished for some unquestionable reason, and you don't know what you did wrong. Now, I'm not a perfect human being. I'm sure I made mistakes along the way, but I've learned from them. And we've all made mistakes, each one of us. The only difference is that we choose a side. We want to do more good. We listen to the angels. We lean more into what's right and what God is telling us that's right to do, or we lean more into the darkness. But you'll know which one is the light in the darkness because the light shines. And so I did more good things than bad things, I've never been the type where I'll be like, oh, that person hurt me, I'm gonna get that person back. No, I was just like, God's gonna take care of it for me. That person did something bad to me, I'm gonna leave it in God's hand. And I would get hurt by what was done to me because I would understand, like, why would they do something like that? I would never do something like that. I'm being real with them, I'm being genuine. So I just felt like my family was very fake. Like, they didn't really love me. And love, when it's real love. You feel real love. When you know what love is, you really feel like, yeah. So I always had a lot of love in my heart. And so yeah, I was targeted by my parents, and then every once in a while I would spend time over there with my other parent. And I had a very evil stepmother who was brainwashing me. I was brainwashed a lot growing up, from both sides, just constant brainwashing. I went through a lot of abuse, physical, emotional, all different types of abuse that I went through growing up. So I really felt like I was this horrible, bad person. And yeah, preschool, I was emotional, really emotional. Like, just an emotional person. I can't be overstimulated. Like, loud noises, too brightness would just like really affect me. Negative energy really gets me, like, it gets me really bad emotionally. And so I had like spiritual discernment. I would be able to see people and look at them, and they would get scared. And my eyes were always very intimidating. My presence was very intimidating to a lot of people. I've always been told that growing up, even when I was little. They're like, oh, she's very intimidating. She's too much. She's a lot. So I I got a lot of energy. Um, so so I went on to preschool. Same thing. The teachers would be like, oh, she's too emotional. We need to change that about her, and that's not right. So they saw that something about me needed to be fixed. That something wasn't right about me. That I needed to be changed in who I am, and they tried to control the way that I am, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I had that label of like too sensitive. Need to change that about you, and it's something wrong. Like, something's wrong with me, so I need to change. I went on to first grade, same thing. Too emotional. Teacher saying that. Constantly just being made to feel like I didn't belong. Like, I'm not one of them. Like, you need to change. I went on to school. Certain teachers are very nice, but that fourth grade teacher that I had, I just wouldn't pay attention in class. I was very energetic, very talkative, very expressive. I would ask a lot of questions like, why do we have to do that? What does that mean? And I don't understand, like, why are we doing this? Like, what is this gonna help us with? And the teachers would get mad and they're like, stop asking so many questions. Just listen to what I'm saying and just do what you're told. So I always felt like I don't like being controlled. This doesn't feel right. And I don't want to be doing stuff that I really don't want to be doing. I want to go be creative and, draw or stuff like that I really like to do. Like, um, so yeah, I was being targeted in fourth grade. That's when my whole targeting began. And, I was being diagnosed. I had like this psychologist come into the school and diagnose me and test me and take these exams, and then turned out that I had ADD. Supposedly I had attention deficit disorder, and they were like, oh, we need to place her in a special educational program because I think that's going to help her. But I felt like I was very intelligent to be placed in a lower level education. Like they really, it's like less years behind. Like, let's say a fifth grader is learning at a fifth grade level at the age that I was, and at the age that I am, I was learning at like a third grade level. So I was learning a lot more years behind, and I felt like this is too easy. This information is way too, this homework assignment is way too easy. And I was made to feel like I was different, that something was wrong with me. That's why I was placed in those classes. And something in my head would always tell me, like, I don't feel like I belong here. I don't feel like there's something wrong with me. I don't know why I'm here. Like, I would feel like very out of place. Like, I want to just be like everyone else, and I want to be like, I don't want to feel like this. So yeah, in those classes, I always felt that way. Like, I was out of place. And I would always pass those classes with A's each time. Each exam I would just do really good. And I was like, well, it's easy work, so of course I would just pass it because it was really simple stuff to complete. And then they asked, like, oh, we should medicate her with this certain medication. And my parent had the choice to either say, yeah, let's medicate her with this prescription that they were gonna give me. And the good news is that my parent decided no. Like, no, we're not gonna have her take any mental health prescriptions for her ADD. So luckily I didn't have to take anything for that. And that was good. Like, they didn't suppress my spiritual abilities that I was born with, and spiritual gifts that I was born with. So that's what they were trying to do, just suppress it and keep it hidden. So I always operate with this bright light and at a very high vibration. And so I just would stand out everywhere I would go. Just stand out. It's like she's different. So yeah, I went on and I was treated really badly. I was yelled at, like, just listen, stop talking, and like that. So always called out. And then I was targeted. It was only directed at me. Other people would talk in the class and it was always just focused on me. You need to stop talking. And I was like, but everyone else is talking too. I'm talking to you. You need to stop talking. And I just felt like, why am I always being targeted every single time that I go into class? And it just felt like, what's going on? And other people will say, like, oh, that's just normal stuff. It's just normal. Like, teachers just want you to be quiet. No, it was like, it was targeted at you. You know. because you're different. You're not the same. You stand out, so they're gonna treat you a lot different than how they treat everyone else. No one. It's the same thing with workplace mobbing. It's the same exact tactics, but the difference is just in an educational system. Um, it's just a different setting, but it's still the same tactics that they use. Like similar tactics that they use to target you, to ostracize you, to isolate you, to ruin every friendship that you had. I would make friendships and they were always ruined somehow. I'll go into that later. So, yeah, I moved on to 5th grade and then 6th grade, and I had the same teacher as in special education at that time. And I had friends, and I would get into arguments with that friends, and then we would just make amends again, be friends again. But then, like, the teacher would be like, no, that's enough. Like, I don't want both of you guys hanging out anymore because you guys are always arguing. So it's creating like a distance. Like, no, you guys can't hang out anymore because it's always arguing. So let's just separate you guys. So even for a trip that I had, it was like a Disneyland trip, and I made amends with this friend that I had, and the teacher said like, no, you're not going to be going with that friend that you want to go with because you guys always argue, and you're not going to be going together. And I was like, what? Like, we're friends, like stuff like that. I would talk a lot. I would ask a lot of questions. And my desk, everyone had like desk like this in elementary school, a bunch of desk like that. And she would move my desk, just move the whole entire desk and move it right near hers, or to the front of the classroom, just facing the wall, away from everyone else, like in a corner, like just my whole desk just moving, and then everybody else was behind me, and I was just facing a wall. Very, very injustice. That's an injustice to do to any type of student, to make them feel like excluded, like we're gonna move you all the way over here, away from everyone else. And I would still turn around, I would still talk and make friends with people. And because I would talk a lot, and I was very social, I was a social little butterfly. I was always told like, you have to stay behind, you're punished, so you're not allowed to go to recess. Everybody else can go to recess, but you're gonna stay here because you keep talking a lot. And so I was always being held back. I wasn't able to go to recess several times. I was always made to be in the classroom, to stay there. Yeah, I would just look at the kids all playing on the tether ball, running around, having a good time. And I was just in the classroom just staring like, oh, wow, that's nice. So no, it's not, this is not just a normal childhood. You're really being targeted. Like, you're being targeted, you're being excluded, you're being isolated, you're being treated like you don't deserve the same rights as everyone else. So whoever says that, oh, every kid goes through this, no, the teacher, the one that's responsible is the one causing all this exclusion, all this isolation, because they're running their program of targeting people, running the program of targeting people, especially little kids when they're barely born. They're different, and they know that they think differently, they behave differently, they are able to be deep thinkers, see beyond what's being showed, like investigators technically, like just always wanting to know more and seeking more information, not just whatever is being taught. So yeah, I went on to that whole experience, and then I was constantly called weird. You're weird, you're weird. And I was like, okay, I'm weird. Because I was too emotional. I mean, no one can understand my emotions because they were intense, like very intense. I would cry easily. I was very like, someone said something mean to me, I was like, oh, and I would start crying. So, empathetic as well. Lovers, I loved animals ever since I was little. I would have little puppies and cats just follow me around my apartments, just follow me, and I would just pet them and feed them. I love animals so much. And I loved helping people around too. I had a lot of friends in my neighborhood. So they would have problems and I was always there. Yeah, let me help you out. Let me give you advice. And I love giving advice. So, yeah, I would cry easily when I was little, but then I hardened my heart and I wouldn't cry. Oh, yeah. I can't, I haven't been able to do that. I've tried, but it's like, I guess it's just something that's like, I'm wired differently, I guess. Like, my brain is probably, like, more sensitive to certain things. Like, it's just something, I don't know. Like, maybe my nervous system is a lot more sensitive and it's something that has to do with that. That's something's just different about the way that I am. And so I went to 6th grade, and then from there, I can't balance it. I'm just way too sensitive, even till now. It's like, it stuck with me. And the more people try to suppress it and change me and persecute me for being sensitive, the more it would just get worse and I would get they couldn't change that about me. So they couldn't change that about me because I mean it's a personality trait that I have. It's like you can't change something that's already ingrained in me, and they couldn't. It's a part of me, and I'm not gonna ever change it, and I can't. I really can't. Like I went on to 6th grade, and then I spent some time. Um, I spent some time. We had to relocate to another new place. I grew up in a low income inner city, just in elementary school years. But then eventually I had to move to a new area, and there was only 2 choices to choose from. And so I ended up moving to this new area, and it's like with rich kids, a lot of rich, wealthy, well off students and stuff like that I went to that middle school. So my mentality, the way that I was brought up was very different to theirs. They were very superficial. They cared a lot about how they looked, their makeup. The girls were dressing very provocative already. So I dress very different. I've always dressed very differently. Like, I have my own sense of style that's very, like, not the usual type of style. So, yeah. Middle school is really tough. I was a loner. So, a loner because I had a narcissistic friend that I made in that middle school, and she put a lot of people against me. A lot of people. She launched a smear campaign and spoke horrible things about me. And so people would just believe her, and any type of friend that I would make, they're always against me or jealous or something. I don't know what it was. Something like that. But just trying to tear me down all the time, or telling me like, oh, you think you're better than all of us, don't you? Or you're arrogant, or you think you're all that and you're really not. And I was like, what? I didn't even say anything. Like, I'm so accepting of everyone. I'm accepting of everyone. I don't care how they look, if they're into emo, if they're into band, into all this. Like, I just accept everyone for how they are. But since I was different, it was like target alert, different, fear that people, attack. When people fear you, it's because they don't understand you, and like they're threatened because they're like, I don't know who she is, and they would try to figure me out. So they would try to figure me out, and I was nice to them. I was very kind to them, and they would just be hateful towards me, and I was like, whoa, like why are you guys being mean to me if I'm just being kind to you? And certain things like that. And then in PE, everybody had a partner to choose, and like they would always leave me behind. And not only that, that was like even in classroom settings. Like everyone choose a partner. Nobody wanted to choose me. Everybody get into groups. Nobody wanted me in their groups. Um, I mean, and it was not just like bullying, like, oh, like, no, it was like the whole, like, a lot of people just coming up against me and attacking me and putting me down. And even when I would try, because I wanted to fit in, you know, like any child wants to fit in and be a part of something. They would reject me. They were like, "You're weird. Like, get away from me," or like, they would come up to me and be like, you look horrible today. You know, like you're not matching, and you know this and that. So things like that, just um, yeah. So I mean, you never forget how people made you feel. Like it's just something that you always like remember. So so yeah, I experienced that. And I was lucky enough to have two really good teachers in that special educational program that I was in. They were like, "Oh, you're such a beautiful young lady. Don't ever change who you are. Continue to be that same person that you are." And sometimes they would even allow me to eat lunch in their office. They would tell me, "Oh yeah, come into the classroom. You're allowed to eat your lunch here. You're safe here." Because they were nasty. They were so mean. The girls, the boys, they were so mean. Um, so I would go into that classroom and I would take my lunch and I would eat there. And I felt safe, but then eventually they started saying, "Oh, you're going to have to eat your lunch outside of the classroom now." And so I would just go to the restroom most of the time. Just go into the restroom, wait until the bell would ring, and then I would go back to class because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want people to attack me. So I was like, the safest place that I could go to is to the restroom. And then people started to notice that. And they were like, "Why do you always go to the restroom every time that 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 there's lunch? Why do you always go there?" And they were just laughing. And I was like, like just leave me alone. Like just let me do what I want to do. Um like everything, they were constantly observing me, like watching me, even the girls, the boys, trying to just figure me out, lying about me. Ugh. And then those special education classes, they would always pull me out every time, like continuously, just pull me out of the classroom. "Adriana, we need you." And then I was like, "Why? I'm in class right now." And they're like, "We need you. You need to come with us right now." And they would take me out of class, and then they would test me. They would give me all these exams. They would observe me. They would have me take exams, and then they would just watch me, like very like vigilant. And they would just watch me while I was doing stuff and taking like exams on like how my brain works, things like that. But it was constantly just pulling me out of class, and I was like, "Oh, like, am I gonna be pulled out again?" So, and I noticed, I was like, why am I being the only one being pulled out? Everyone else is like allowed to just go to class and finish the day, but I was always being told like, "Come on, Adriana, come with us." And I was like, "But I'm in class right now. Come with us." And then yeah, so yeah, but I never belonged. Never belonged. So so yeah, even in middle school, I still had teachers telling me like, "Adriana, you need to stop talking." And I was like, "Everyone else is talking. No, you need to stop talking. I'm talking to you." And just things like that. So yeah, that was just a repetitive pattern, continuously. Same thing. People attacking, gaslighting me, jealous, telling me really nasty things, getting to groups and attacking just one me. Um, calling me weird. "Oh, you're weird. Oh, you're weird. You're you're different. why are you like that, and stuff like that. Like, they would just, because I really didn't fit in. So, okay, so that middle school year was over, and I was done. Whew. I went on to high school. And high school was the worst. It was really the worst. High school was a nightmare. It was like a Halloween story. Ooh. So I've always been into dressing really nicely. I mean, in high school I dressed more nicely. This is nothing. This is how I'm dressed right now is nothing. But I would dress like very like elegantly, like wear really cute outfits, do my makeup, curl my hair, just look really cute and feminine. And the females were just very jealous, and they would give me like evil stares, and they were like, "You're arrogant," or "She's probably a rich girl." So they would make all these assumptions about me without even getting to know me. Or like, "She's stuck up." Yeah, she's stuck up. She thinks she's all that. She thinks she's better than us, doesn't she? uh, so. And I was like, "No, I'm really not that way. Like, if you just got the chance to know me, I'm really not that way." I would tell them, like, "That's not really who I am." And they're like, "Oh, you're right. You're really not that stuck up. You're actually really nice." So they would change their perception, but somehow it was always reverted back to thinking negative of me. So it didn't work. No matter how much I tried to explain myself, they still wanted to misunderstand me. Yeah, I went on to high school freshman year, a loner. I mean, even if I would talk to people, I still felt alone. Like, they would still reject me. And then I went on to sophomore year. I joined track and field. Yeah, I joined track and field. Same thing, a loner, rejected, harassed, targeted. Groups of people would just come up to me and target me. And it was not just one group of people, it was several groups of people. Just every once in a while. Every single time at lunch, they would come up to me and insult me or do something nasty to me. Or sometimes they would tell, like, "I dare you to do this to her. I dare you to tell her this. I dare you to do this." And so I was just their entertainment. Like, they were entertained by abusing me. And they were very nasty, like shallow, superficial, and just hateful. Like, they had so much hate in their hearts. It was bad. So I was a loner. I was an easy target for them. And plus, I was getting abused at my house with my covert narcissistic mother. And so at that time, I didn't even know what boundaries were. And they got away with a lot. Like, they would come near me, take advantage of me, pretend to be nice for a couple of moments, and I would get my hopes up, like, "Oh, wow, finally." And then they would just tear me down. And then in class, I would have the teacher laugh at me because of some reason. Certain teachers would just put me on the spot and laugh at me, and everyone else would join in. I was told, like, "Oh, you're never gonna be anything. Like, you should go back to school because you don't even know this type of information," and stuff like that. And I was like, "How dare you? I didn't even do anything. I just walked into class and I was just doing my work, and all of a sudden the teacher just wants to just put me down and say something really nasty and be very aggressive." And you could just hear it in his voice, like he was laughing and mocking, but with a very evil voice coming out of him. And he was just laughing at me, and everyone else joined. The whole entire class was like, laughing. And I was like, I felt horrible. Like, I was like, "What's wrong with these people? Like, why are they treating me this way? I didn't even do anything to them. Like, what's their problem?" So yeah. They always wanted to believe the the false rumors. Everyone was always looking for a reason to be against me. But I went to a school of a lot of rich people. And let me tell you, they're the most stingiest, selfish, greedy, self-entitled, self-absorbed, materialistic, um, power-hungry, money-hungry people you'll ever meet. And I don't know if some of them were Freemasons, but I went to a predominantly white school. It was like in a white area. And they had a lot of, like a lot of power, like social influence. And I didn't. But they would just target me like heavily in high school, heavily. And then they were like, "Oh, where do you live?" And then they're like, "Oh, you live in the ghetto." And they were just laughing and making me feel bad about, not having money and stuff like that. Because the only popular ones in the school were the ones who had more money. The ones who had like a lot of, who were like a white people. They were the most popular ones in that school. And the least popular ones were like the minority group. They looked at the minority group, but the white people were all the way up here. And yeah, so they did all that to me. I was a loner. I just remember it was the worst experience ever. I would even try to talk to someone. I went close to this girl because I saw that she was alone too. And I told her, "Hey, do you mind if I hang out with you?" And she's like, "Ew, ew, get away from me. Get away from me." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But it hurt a lot. It hurt a lot because I was just trying to be nice and make a friend, but she just rejected me. And then one time, there's this lunch table, right? And there's this empty space, and I sat down in that table, and it's like one of those movies, right? It's one of those movies where everyone just gets up of their seat and they just left. And they left me there sitting alone. So, I remember that. And I didn't even do anything to them. I don't know what rumors were being spread about me, but there was a lot of lies being spread about me. I don't know what they were saying about me. That's the sad thing, that I never got the chance to actually know what was being said behind my back. Because they would smile in my face, and then they would tear me into shreds behind my back. But yeah, I wanted a very deep relationship, friendship, a deep friendship with someone. But everyone was so shallow, and I was like, I can't find like someone who's real and genuine. Like, I just see a bunch of like fake people, shallow people, um, just people who are takers. But they were envious of me, and I was like, why are they attacking me so much? If they have money, if they have a nice home, if they have a good family, they have everything in their life, why are they coming after me? And so yeah. But I would think that to myself, and I would cry back home. I was like, why am I going through this? I don't get it. I was like, they have everything. Like, they have a nice family. They have this and that. So I don't understand why do they want to make me feel this miserable. But man, they made me feel miserable every day. I was happy. They didn't like me being happy. It's like it irritated them. Every time I was happy, I felt good. They wanted to come around to just make me feel bad about myself. But I would pray to God, and I never took revenge into my hands. I never took revenge into my hands. Even after all the lies, everything, I didn't. I could say that right now. In high school, I never like got back at anyone. So I would just cry to God, and I would tell God if He can help me out with my situation. And I would tell Him, why am I so sensitive? Why do I care so much? If like I would tell Him, like, can I just stop being sensitive? I would tell like God, like, I just want to be heartless for a day so I don't have to feel this pain anymore. Because they would project all that negativity, all their hatred, all their emotional baggage, they would just come near me and throw it all on me. Like throw all that hate all on me. All the anger, just throw it on me. And that's how I walked. I walked carrying a lot of people's problems, a lot of people's angers and insecurities. Um, it was tough. Like I graduated and I didn't really feel anything. I was just happy that I was able to get out. But I just wanted one of those people to show love the same way I was giving love to them. And all I was met was hate and rejection. And so yeah. But yeah, they scapegoated me a lot at school. Calling me weird. I've always been called weird, so um yeah, I couldn't fit in with people. So at the same time, they didn't accept me, but I also didn't really like being around them either. Like at the same time, I would prefer being alone because I didn't have to deal with them playing ego trips on me and, guilt tripping me and trying to make me feel bad about myself every time I was around them. Because even when I was around people, they still made me feel alone. They still excluded me. They would make plans. They were like, oh, we're going to go hang out in this restaurant. I was never invited. They would go and do things together and they would exclude me. So, yeah, they would take pictures too, like all girls' pictures, like in front of my face. And then they would not, I wasn't in the picture. Um, so, it was a lot of rejection. And the teachers would participate and they were part of it too, so they made it worse on me. Oh yeah, intimidated. Yes, I got told a lot that like even even males were jealous and they would hate on me too. And they were men, like they were, like the opposite gender of me, and they still would try to tear me down as well. So yeah, so that was my high school experience as a targeted um individual. And I was persecuted, all that. So just for doing the right thing. And they would always try to find like any tiny flaw that they could, any weakness, and they would use that to expose it somehow to make me look bad. So any tiny thing, my kindness was also seen as a weakness. So a lot of people saw me as inferior. They saw themselves as a like superior to me. Everyone treated me like I was nothing. Like they would just like, you know, everyone was like, "Oh, I'm so much better." And like when they would tear me down, they would raise themselves up so they can steal the spotlight. They didn't want me to have the spotlight, and I wouldn't do anything. I would just go into there, and everyone would just notice me and look at me, and you know, and envy, like jealousy, and they would have to tear me down. And they were like pretend like they're so much better than me, and so, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. But yeah, I went to school, I went to college and all that. I escaped the covert narcissist. I went through that workplace mobbing situation. I have that story in one of my videos of the workplace mobbing. And then once I resigned from that job, um, no, no. So I was had that workplace mobbing situation, and I was being followed every time I would go to the restroom. So someone was always following me at work, like following me, the same exact person every time I would go into the restroom. And I started getting symptoms of a targeted individual, like very, very strong headaches, fatigue, dizziness, like vertigo, like I felt disbalanced, red eyes. I would go out of work once I left, and I started seeing a bunch of cars just circling, repetitive, 24/7. In the morning, I would wake up continuously, out my window look, and just the same cars just driving by. And at night, same thing, just noticing that. And then I went to sleep one night, and I started seeing like some big old spiders just being projected on on my wall, like huge spiders. And I woke up late at night, like 3 a.m. at night, and I just see these big spiders just going. I was like, whoa! I got scared a little. Yeah, I went back to sleep, and the next day I saw the same exact thing. Those big old spiders. It was like someone was projecting the spiders through my window that I have. So I would just see that. And then I had the voice to skull, the V2K, and I would just hear voices late at night, and it would just wake me up, and sleep deprivation. And lasers being burned on my legs at night. Just lasers being burned on my leg. And I thought it was my blanket. And no, it was this type of electronic harassment that they use to burn your skin. So they were targeting my legs, like my thighs, right there. And then I also had the I don't know what it's called, but it's like like you feel like they're electrocuting you, like your whole body is just shaking, like they're electrocuting you and stuff like that. So I went through that at the beginning of my targeting, and I started making YouTube videos when it started it, when it began, when the whole targeting began, like the targeting individual program. And at first I didn't know, I wasn't aware, like, oh, I've been targeted all my life. I wasn't aware of that. So I was still new to everything, and those were all the symptoms that I was getting. So yeah, I ended up cutting ties with both of my families as well. So being the black sheep, I escaped, and I finally moved into my own space. And this is all that happened. And I would make my YouTube videos, and there was always a noise campaign outside. So right exactly when I would start filming, I would have this guy that worked on the campus, because I lived near the campus. He would start mowing his grass, just really loud, and a bunch of cars just making a lot of noise around me. And I was just recording my video, and I was like, why is there so much noise? Like, I'm just trying to record this by speaking the truth. So yeah. I lost a lot of friends, my spiritual awakening. A lot of friends and family just walked out of my life. I mean, I didn't really have no real friends, so I never had a real friend. No real family either. It's okay, you know. There's a reason why God isolates us. So yeah, so I was going through that whole noise campaign, and I was like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Just confused still. I was still confused at that time. Yeah, I would go ahead and go back home, and I had a narcissistic neighbor that stays in the dorm like 24/7, like all day, just stalking me, watching me. So I thought that was weird too. Like coming out at the same exact time that I come out, synchronizing with my movements. I would go to the restroom, she would go to her restroom in her dorm. Just weird things started happening, and I was like, what's going on? Like, And it was repetitive. It was like day after day, same exact thing, over and over again. The same cars just driving around, gang stalking me right in front of my window, like my dorm. Um, Noise campaigns. So there was some times where a lady would be walking her dog late at night, just the dog barking really loud, and then someone else coughing, and then I would have someone else honking their car alarm would just go on. It was like a lot of noise just at once, just from everywhere in front of my window. And they would stand right in front of the window, like on the bottom. They would just stand there and then do their little show that they were doing. So, but yeah, and then during the daytime, I would see tractors. I would see tractors, like the construction tractors, like those big old tractors. They would just pass by too, along with the other cars. And then the police car would also drive along with the other gang stalkers. And I was like, even the police is in this? And at the time, yeah, the police was in it, as the police car was driving even around there at night. Um, so yeah, there was big old tractors. And then I saw this drone on my window. And I was like, what is that? I start researching and I'm like, oh, that's a drone. That's what it is. Yes, when your head feels like it's being cooked. That's how it felt. Yes, I've experienced that. Even to this day, I continuously, sometimes I get these very strong headaches, but they last hours. They last a lot of hours. Like it's not just a little tiny headache. It's like it'll stay there for a while. Um, yeah, with the whole gang stalking. So I'm gonna share with you guys what I would see. I would see like tractors driving around, making U-turns constantly like that. My landlord was in my targeting as well. Even maintenance was part of my. It runs really deep. So I'm gonna get into the nitty gritty of everything, and I'm gonna expose it for what it is. So yeah, my landlord started acting very different. I have that roommate that's being paid 24/7 to just stay there and harass me and watch me. Um, the maintenance people. One time I brought a friend over. I just have one really good friend of mine, and the maintenance one time just approached me out of nowhere. It was around like it was nighttime, and he's just like, "Oh, who's this?" And I was like, "My friend." And he's like, with a like an angry face, and he's like, "Oh, okay." Oh, he was just mad. Like I saw like his face, like I was thinking to myself, why is he so mad? Like why does it bother him that I have a friend over? So they were already trying to isolate me after they had launched a big old smear campaign against me to make me out to be like crazy, or I don't know, whatever slandering lies they said about me, which were all negative. They were trying to isolate me. And I was like, that's my friend. And I was thinking to myself, like, why does he care? It's none of his business. Like, it's my personal life, and I'm allowed to be friends with how many people I want. But they're just constantly trying to like destroy any type of connection that I have, any relationship. Like, they want to get in the way of it to really keep you isolated. So you don't have a support system. You don't have anyone that you can rely on. And that's what they'll do. And I put everything together. I'm gonna explain. So I'm gonna explain how I put everything together and I made sense of the whole experience. So yeah, the whole noise campaign, I would make my YouTube videos and open my window and get some sunlight so the sun can like just illuminate my video. Same thing, lawnmowers, someone mowing the grass right in front of the window, cars driving really fast, making a lot of noise, loud coughings, loud barking, people riding their bikes across. Like at certain times, I would see the same exact bike just coming across, people going out, like tons of people at once, just making so much noise, and being a part of the community mobbing, harassment, and stuff like that. So yeah, I picked up on it. Um, I picked up on it very quickly. But when you're being a targeted individual, it's right in front of you. It's like directed straight towards you, towards your house, towards your door, towards where you live. You're gonna get a lot of noise, like just tons of noise, like a lot. So that's part of the noise campaign that they do. And then there was helicopters too. I would go out for a walk and I look up and then there's this helicopter just following me, like literally following me around. I had people watch me from their balconies. They were just keeping an eye on me, as if I was like as if I was a bad person, like just watching me from their balcony, giving me the evil eye, giving me like really nasty energy. Because I don't know what was being told about me, but there was a lot of lies being spread around me. Yeah, they would just watch me and stuff, and I would walk by, and the lady was trying to groom me. She was like, "Oh, you look so pretty. Oh, this and that." And I think she was being paid. I know which one was being paid. I'll explain right now. Yeah, so she was being paid. She was like, "Oh, we should hang out one day." And I was like, no. Like, no, I don't trust you." Like, she was giving me bad vibes, like, just trying to deceive me, trying to fool me. I was like, nope. Then she was friends with this other criminal. He's a criminal. And he was being paid to stalk me as well through his balcony. I just want to share my testimony. I'm not doing it because I'm just sharing my testimony if other people can relate to it. I'm only doing this to help other people. It's not about giving people clout. It's about helping other people. That's what I'm doing this for. I'm doing for other targeted individuals. So, yeah, this other guy was staring at me through his balcony, and he was just stalking me nonstop. And I was walking one day, and I decided to sit on the bench. Next thing you know, he approaches me out of nowhere. And I've seen him because he's the one that stalks me on his balcony every single day. And he approaches me, and he starts like, "Oh, hi, how are you? You have such a beautiful smile." And I was like, "Thank you." And he's like, "Yeah." And then he started like trying to like get me to open up. He started asking me like personal questions like, "Where do you live?" And I was like, "You know where I live. Like, you literally stalked me." He was like, "Where do you work? And what do you do for work? What do you go to school for? Um, what do you do at school? Like, what are you studying?" And in my head, I was like, "Why is he asking me so much personal questions? Like, why is he so interested?" I already knew why, because he was plotting against me. People who come up to you and approach you just trying to gain personal information, that's a major red flag. And he started telling me, "Are you single? Are you dating anyone?" And I was like, "What? What is going on here?" And I was like, "I have to go." And I was just leaving, getting ready to go to work. And next thing you know, I turn around just to glance, and he gives me this evil stare, like evil eyes. He was looking at me with so much hate, like evilness. So I was like, "Ooh, this is a dangerous, predatory person right there. That's a predator. He is predatory." I turn around and he's looking at me like this, like that, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, did I just see what I just saw? But he was so nice to me, asking me all those personal questions. And I turn around, I glance one more, and he's like giving me these empty, pitch black eyes. And he tries to play it cool. He's like, "Oh, have a good day." And I was like, what? Like, he tried to play it cool. He tried to pretend like, no, I didn't reject him. I did not reject him. I just told him, "Oh, I really have to go to work." I was being nice to him. Like, I'm not the type to be like very mean and be rejecting. Like, "No, get away," because I know what it's. I'm not that type. So I was just like, oh, okay, bye, have a good day. And he's like, yeah, have a good day at work. So I continued walking, and then I just glanced. And next thing you know, I see those evil eyes like that. Mm-mm. And he was stalking me. Let me tell you, he was the one that was stalking me above from his balcony every single day that I would come out, just keeping an eye on me. And he was friends with the other lady that was trying to groom me. The one that would always tell me, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I love you. She even told me that she loved me and she didn't even know me. And she and that criminal guy, they're like this. So I don't know what they were plotting. They were plotting something. But definitely perps. Definitely perpetrators. But it's the spirit within them. It's that evil spirit that you feel off of people. And I felt it. So that happened. The maintenance was also in it, you know, just saying like who I hang out with, telling me, oh, I hardly see you ever come out. And then the narcissistic neighbor would sometimes start arguments with me, and I would get angry and stuff. She's a Jezebel. And the noise campaign and everything, the gang stalking, it would just build up. I would have so much emotional build up where I just wanted to like let it go and just have an emotional reaction, because it was just everyone was provoking me and I couldn't take it. And so I had a very strong reaction one time. And the landlord, I peek out my window and I see the landlord just laughing, smiling. And I was like, what? Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? He was downstairs just like smiling, like I was like, wow, this world is filled with so much evilness, evil people. And mind you, I was kind. I was kind to all these people. I was kind to the maintenance and everyone. And they all just flipped on me. Once I became a targeted individual, they all just flipped on me. As soon as I got all my energy up, it was like they started getting jealous, hateful, trying to put me down. They did all this type of stuff. They even put cameras in my own dorm, and like they watched me. Cause the maintenance even told me one time like, oh, have a good night, and it was still daytime, and I was like, what do you mean have a? In my mind, I was like, why would he say have a good night if it's still the early afternoon? So just sending like subliminal messages, like we're watching you, like we got our eyes on you. Like yeah, the whole noise campaign, and then I would go to restaurants and the drive-through. I would just eat at the restaurant. There's this drive-through on Farmer Boys, and it was like tons of cars at once, like numerous of cars, not just one, like a whole like more than 50 or 100 cars just coming in and out of the driveway, gang stalking me through the driveway, And I was like, that is crazy. What I'm just seeing is crazy. I've never seen the drive-thru so packed in my life. I was like, whoa. And I was telling my friend, like, they're gang stalking me right now. Like, through the drive-thru. And he's like, no. He's like, they're just getting food. And I was like, no. They're really gang stalking me through that drive-thru. Tons of cars are just gang stalking me through that drive-thru. And I would go for walks, and I would have tons of cars just coming at me at once through the what do you say, that crosswalk? I'd press the button, and just a bunch of cars would just be boom like that, all at once, just. So there's just strange things that you'll see when you're being gang stalked. You'll see some strange stuff, and yeah, through the drive-thru several times. Other times I'd go to a restaurant, same thing, a bunch of cars just gang stalking me. Then I would go to a nice restaurant or something, like a restaurant to go to eat. And I would have agents just go in and sit right in front of me and watch me while I'm eating. they would just sit like right somewhere near me, like right in front, and then they would just watch me and observe me while I'm eating my food. And so they send a lot of people to just stalk you, to to watch whatever you're doing, watch your every move, to keep an eye on you and stuff like that. So yeah, I had that a lot. I had that several instances where certain certain people would just come into the restaurant and target me and watch me eat. So yeah, so that was part of it too. And then I'd go to grocery stores as well to go get food, and they would give me like very aggressive stares, like very aggressive stares, like some evil stare, like stares that give you the message like you're disdain, like you don't belong here, like who, like stuff like that, like very nasty stares. So yeah, the grocery store is just some random person just giving me some ugly stares. And then I would have other times that I would go to the grocery store, they would follow me around every aisle. I would just go down an aisle, grab my food, get what I wanted to get, and the same exact person was right there in that same aisle. I would go across the other aisle. Next thing you know, that same exact person is right near me, just following me like my shadow, like a shadow. And I would go to the to to get all my food just checked out at the cash register, and the same exact person was just like right near me as well, behind me in the line. So certain things I was like, what's going on, like what is this? um yeah. Then I would take Uber, and the Uber driver would ask me like personal questions as well while I was in the Uber driver. So even they have perps that will work through Uber, work through, stuff like that. And they'll ask you personal questions in the conversation. They'll put music on like politics type of stuff to like try to brainwash you, to try to like get you to open up. Um so yeah, I would ask certain questions like, "Oh, if you don't mind me asking, I know this is a little bit too personal, but I just want to ask you, what do you do for this and that?" And I was like, so yeah. So they try to investigate as much information as they can about you, and they're hoping that you'll just open up and tell them. I mean, they already have this information about you because like they have all this information that they want about you, but I don't know why they just ask. And then my phone started acting up. That was another thing that I started to notice. I would I would do like investigate information about targeted individuals on my phone. And next thing you know, like the page will say like access denied. You're not allowed to open this page. And my phone would sometimes just not work. Like I would press the apps. I was continuously pressing the apps and they wouldn't even open. I was like trying to open my YouTube account and it was like, nope. And I would make videos speaking the truth and the video would just glitch. It would just like shut off, like boom. Um so yeah, my phone was hacked. And I would try to make phone calls too. And it was like, your phone is not available. Please try again. And then I would try to call my friend again. Sorry, this number cannot be reached. And I was like, oh, I just called you. And like, I couldn't even make phone calls because my phone was being like, I wasn't even able to make phone calls because something was going on with my phone. Certain things were just, it was weird. Like, certain weird things were just going on with my phone because they were hacking it. And it was really slow, like, very slow. Like, I would just type certain things and it would take a long time. Even my computer was hacked. Um, it was slow as well. Just random things on my electronic devices that I knew like something was up, something was not normal, and I was like, are they really hacking my phone? Cause that's exactly what they're doing. uh, yeah. Now, yeah, but for targeted individuals, they hack everyone, right? They see everyone through the camera, but for targeted individuals, they purposely track your activities. They slow everything down on purpose. You can't make certain phone calls. Like your phone is just like glitching a lot. Like you're gonna have a lot of glitches as a TI, and it's gonna frustrate you. Like they're gonna play like try to slow everything down. Okay. And then there was the street theater as well that was taking place. So the whole street theater. One time I went to a restaurant and I finished eating and everything, and I was just waiting outside. And it was this very busy street, cars just going back and forth. And in front of me was a gas station. And next thing you know, I just start seeing a bunch of police cars just drive into the gas station. And there was no crime scene that happened. There was no crime scene that took place. And they start just putting that yellow tape around the whole entire gas station like that. Around. And then they just hang out there outside of that gas station, and then they just stare at me to like try to see my emotional reaction, like to see what kind of emotional reaction I um I have towards the whole street theater that they did. But I didn't react. I was just like, oh, okay. So that was street theater as well. I've experienced street theater. People just acting, doing random stuff. uh, so yeah, the whole sound campaigns, noise campaigns, dogs barking in front, people coughing really loud, talking, having conversations really loud, laughing, mocking me. um, yeah, people riding their bikes, stuff like that. God bless. Thank you. Accelerating their car is another one. They accelerate their car, like purposely. They put the brakes on their car to like make loud noises as well. Yeah, that's part of the noise campaign as well. A color coordination, you're gonna start picking up on color coordination of the cars that gang stalk you. So there's like, well, my color coordination that I noticed is like this dark gray car, then it's a white car, then it's a royal blue car, then it's a lot of Jeep cars, like Jeeps, like white Jeeps, black Jeeps, vans, the the mail the mail cars, the people that do mails like UPS and all them, they drive around too, participating in the gang stalking. Police cars. I've even seen ambulances. I've seen tractors. A lot of school buses, like the yellow buses. Um, like those big yellow bus cars, and they're just driving, but tons of them. Like not just one, but like a lot of yellow cars just driving around. Um, I've also seen like white vans, like you know those white vans, those big white vans. Yeah, the short buses, the yellow short buses, and I've also seen the long yellow buses as well. Helicopters. So now you got all the other stuff as well. The helicopters, the drones, the airplanes. Um, Stuff like that. And then I also had an experience not too long ago. I was making a video and I was just filming my video and it was like late, so there was no cars in that place because every place was already closed. Um, Next thing you know, I start filming my video and a bunch of gang stalkers just pull up all at once. They all drive right in to that same place that I was just sitting down filming my video. And it was all at once, just parking their cars. And I was like, okay, like where are these people going? If if it's not, if no place is open, like why did they all show up? And like they just stayed there for a couple of moments, all those cars, and then they all left. They all left. So that's called crowding. That's when it's empty. It's like an empty place, and then out of nowhere, you just have a whole bunch of cars just showing up all at once. And then police cars as well driving around you. I also had another street theater that was a police car that had his siren thing on, and he just drives and makes a U-turn right where I'm just walking. I'm walking, taking a walk outside. This police car just randomly just shows up and just turns around and then just looks at me to see my reaction. Like they're always trying to test our reaction to see how we react to certain scenarios. And every encounterment, they always take note. How did she react this way? How did he react this way? How did he react when we did this or we did that? Trying to pinpoint your triggers, trying to pinpoint your weaknesses. So, yeah, they do certain things like that to targeted individuals. Then you have like people trying to tear you down, create chaos in your life, try to set you up as well to get you arrested, to get you in trouble, to really make you out to be like you're crazy. So yeah, every place you go to, you're always being harassed, targeted. Even in when you go to the doctors, when you go to a hospital or something, they're aware of your targeting as well. And I went to the doctors once because I was having trouble with my wrist, and I believed that I had a problem with my wrist. So I went to the doctors to go see if it was anything that was like urgent to fix or to heal. And so it was like they don't really attend, they're not attentive to TI's needs and stuff like that. And so I wasn't really being taken care of much for my wrist. And instead, all I was just given was medication, like a very high dosage of medication. And it didn't really do much to treat the real issue that I had. So it was just a quick, just you stay and then you go, and then that's it. So even they're in on your targeting as well. They're part of it. And they'll try to worsen your problem that you have. They'll give you more medication. They'll tell you, oh, here, I'm going to give you more of this. And then you also go to the dentist, same thing. They're very aware that you're a targeted individual. So they can even lie to you about certain things. They'll rip you off. They'll try to take advantage of you. So yeah. And then the psychologists, therapists, you tell them what you're going through. Highly do not recommend it, because what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up diagnosing you with a mental illness that you don't have. They're going to tell you that you're paranoid, that you're delusional, that you have some sort of bipolar, or that you're schizophrenic, because you're seeing what exactly is taking place and what you're going through as a targeted individual. So all of these type of stuff that I just explained, this is the things that I've witnessed as a TI. And you really do go through stuff like this. Well, like I said, it starts with a smear campaign. It starts with people lying about you. It starts with people community harassment, community stalking you. Then it starts with your neighbors also targeting you in your own place, harassing you, synchronizing with your every movement, mimicking you, copying you, trying to make you look bad, trying to set you up as well. I'm just staying there all day just to keep an eye on you and watch you and harass you as well. And then your community, you got a lot of people participating in your targeting. People that live there, they'll come out and just bark, have their dog bark, start coughing really loud, start having conversations really loud, like talking really loud. And then you have like in front of you people mowing their lawn, tractors just making loud noises, constructive trucks, or people on their motorcycles as well. They make a lot of noise. Um, so I have sometimes, what do you call it, those four-wheelers, those motorbikes. Some people would even drive near and just make a lot of noise. Then you have the mailing cars driving around as well. Big ol' um I even had the towing car, the car that tows cars. Like, they take cars whenever there's like a car. He that person was also part of my targeting. Um Police cars, FBI cars, military cars like Jeeps and stuff like that. Red cars, um white cars, gray cars, Teslas, all different types of cars. Green car, or royal blue cars. And they would just drive around gang stalking me with their vehicles. And most times their windows are tinted, and their license plate have like certain yellow letters to them, like you'll notice. Then you have the street theater, which is scenarios that they intentionally set out purposely. Like, they'll set out a scenario, and it's like they'll act the scenario out, and then what they're gonna do is they're gonna try to see how you emotionally react to it, and they're testing to see how you would react to certain things. So that's what they also do. You got stalkers, agents being sent to watch you around everywhere you go. Restaurants, grocery stores, any place that you go, they're always gonna keep track and follow you around. And you're gonna know when someone is being sent to harass you and stalk you. I'm not showing anything. And then you're gonna be treated like they're gonna exclude you out. People are gonna give you a hard time at restaurants, cash registers. Just make everything difficult for you, especially at work. The whole workplace mobbing. They're gonna target you. They're gonna exclude you, isolate you, give you a lot more work than everyone else. Treat you like you're not one of them, and try to push you out of that workplace, or get you to quit, or get you to react emotionally to provoke you, so then you can get in trouble. So yeah, you're constantly going to be stalked and harassed. And certain stares are going to be given to you to make you feel uncomfortable, to try to bring your energy down. So as soon as you get your energy up, that's when You got your neighbors to try to bring you back down, to harass you and stalk you. And they're gonna be watching you, listening to everything that you do, studying you, learning your schedule, like when you come in and out of your own house. Just keeping track of everything, trying to attain personal information on you. So you just have to know the tricks and the schemes of Satan, because he uses people for this. What I want to say is the main reason why many of us became targeted individuals is because we stand out in a certain way. Um, some some of us, it's because we're highly intelligent. We're very deep thinkers and truth seekers. And other times it's because we're way too good for the world. We have too much goodness, too much positive qualities, too much greatness, potential, and stuff like that. So you're too much on the good side, and that's why they're going to target us. Other reasons is because we're very outspoken and we speak up for what's right. And we speak up against corruption and lies and things like that. Other reasons mainly is just because you're a child of God and your light shines so bright that people want to try to dim your light. So they send a lot of other people to dim your light because they're threatened by it and they don't understand you. And because they're jealous of something that you have. So you have something valuable that people are after, your soul. You have a soul still. But it's your light. And since they're not spiritual, they won't understand that it's the light that shines within you that makes you stand out. But that's why you have a lot of copycats. A lot of people that first start noticing you, watching you, and then they start hating you, and then eventually they start copying you and mimicking you. So you're gonna have a lot of people copying you, saying the same exact things that you say. Another thing that I noticed with my targeting is that I would listen to my music really loud, like certain songs, like Girl on Fire, Katy Perry, Am I Wrong? And I would go to restaurants and that same exact songs that I would listen to would be playing on at the restaurant. And I was like, wow, this is the same music that I listen to. So since they stalk you and I had my music really loud on, they were just doing that. And I think that has to do with street theater. Like they're gonna repeat certain things that you say. So yeah, this is part of the target individual program. And these are certain things that I've lived and gone through. So gang stalking, street theater, noise campaign, people following you around grocery stores, restaurants, Uber drivers being sent to gain information about you, people trying to set you up. And people on their bikes driving. I mean, people riding their bikes straight across you. So yeah, you're always under surveillance. And they'll try to feed off of your emotional reactions. So the best thing to do as a targeted individual is to ignore them and go on with your life. Continue to move forward because they want to put distractions in your way. So, and anyone that brings chaos and confusion and lies and gaslights you, they're part of your targeting because what they want is control over your mind to bring you down. So don't allow them. Know how to play the game. Don't let them manipulate you. You end up manipulating them. And when you ignore them, the street leaders, it hurts their ego. Because what they want is for you to focus your attention on them and look at them. So they can try to take your energy. Because many people don't have their own energy. They get it from other people all the time. And another thing that I've also gone through, being a targeted individual, is having my water poisoned. So I left a big old water bottle as well. And I come back and I start drinking from my water and it starts tasting like metal. And it's as if someone put something in my water because it had a very strong aftertaste. And other times I've always drank water and it never tasted that way. So I already knew that someone had tampered my water. And then certain things were also being moved in my place. Like I would put a bracelet on a table and I would come back and the bracelet was moved to a different place. So they'll try to play certain mind games with you to make you think that you're losing your mind and try to take certain stuff in your place. So yeah, this is all part of the whole targeting. Yeah, agents enter your house and poison your food and water bottles. Exactly. It's exactly what happened to me.